Hi, I'm Mark Brennan with Tucor. Today we're going to be discussing the best way to install the Tucor Hybrid 3D device. The Hybrid 3D allows us to easily add master valves, flow sensing, and extra stations using your existing wiring and valves in the field on your conventional controller. We're going to be using some devices that came in your kit. The 3M Combi Flow decoder is for your master valve and flow sensor. The decoder labeled brown is going to be for your transition valve. This valve is the wire that's closest to your point of connection that we need to extend the two-wire path. This is going to be installed at that first valve, and then we're going to extend the two-wire path to the flow sensor master valve combi. Back at the controller, we'll be using the Tucor Hybrid 3D device, and we'll come back here later after we go visit the point of connection, backflow preventer, and the location for your flow sensor. So here at the transition valve, I've taken the liberty of pre-wiring everything. You can see my two-wire path that we installed, the green pre-approved Tucor wire. You'll notice that this job was installed with multi-strand. Make sure you pay attention to the detail specifying the testing of the wire. We want to make sure that the wire proves out right. We've sent along a calculator that all you have to do is plug in the numbers following the 4-5 simple steps of testing the integrity of the wire. In this case here, the yellow wire is the common wire and the orange wire is the hot wire for this one particular valve. This is a dead end, so I don't have a wire going in and out. You'll notice that I connected the yellow and the orange wire to the two-wire path going out, and I've also connected the decoder, the blue wires of the brown decoder, labeled here brown, to the hot wire and the common. So now we've created a transition valve here. The white wires here, in this case using the DBOs, the 3M DBOs, they're going directly to the solenoid. We have now created the two-wire path. We're going to go back to the flow sensor and we're going to install that combi decoder with the blue wires connecting to the two-wire path and the other wires appropriately connected to the flow sensor. In this case it's a hydrometer, the flow sensor, and the master valve. Now that we've located our point of connection with the backflow preventer, we've gone out and we pre-installed the master valve directly after the point of connection. In this case here, it's a backflow preventer. You'll notice this is the combi decoder that includes surge arrestor, master valve, and flow sensor decoder, all pre-addressed, ready to be installed. So here we are at the hydrometer, the Netafim hydrometer, and it's a combination master valve and flow sensor. So here are the wires for the flow sensor that are going to connect directly to the combi decoder, the red and the black. The blue wires are connecting to the two-wire path that we brought in from our transition valve. The blue wires go one to the red and one to the black. The master valve part of this Netafim hydrometer has a solenoid on it, and we're going to connect the two white wires off of the combi decoder to the two black wires that go to the hydrometer. We're at the controller now, and we're going to be installing the 3D hybrid device. It comes with a 3/4 inch hose, and it has a 3/4 inch hole with a lug nut. So we're going to open up the controller, and you'll see most controllers can accommodate the 3/4 inch hole. As I install this, I want to make sure that it's sealed properly to prevent any insects or moisture getting in. It's as easy as pulling the wires through. I'm going to be making sure that I pay special attention to mounting it nice and straight. The flexible hose gives us the ability to move it in and out and to straighten it versus having just a male adapter. As I'm installing this here, I'm going to put the nut on, bring it down, straighten out the 3D against the wall, and secure the nut on top. I'll use some channel locks to make sure it's secure. Now that we've installed the 3D into the controller, we're going to concentrate on three different groups of wires. The yellow and the green are for the master valve and flow sensor. The larger gauge wires are for the power and the two-wire path out in the field. And then the 6 wires over here are for the valve wires that we're going to extend the system with. So right now we're going to concentrate on 2 wires of the longer gauge wires, the orange and the white. They're going to be for our 24 volt source. Now that we've identified the 24-volt source on this controller, we're going to install the orange and the white wires. These two wires are going to provide power to the 3D6. Now we've provided power to the 24 volt. The 24 volt source is now going to go down through the harness into the 3D unit. Now we're going to connect our green wire, which is going to go to the master valve, and the yellow wire is going to go to the flow sensor. I've identified the master valve terminal here, and I'm going to install the green wire. The yellow wire is going to go up to the flow sensor connection on the terminal strip, and that's up here. Now to catch up on what we've done, we've installed the orange and the white wire to provide 24 volt source to power the 3D. We've installed the green wire into the master valve assembly, and we've installed the yellow wire into the flow sensor terminal port. We're almost finished. Now we're going to go back to the red and black wire that we identified earlier with the orange and the white. The red wire represents the hot wire, and we need to take the transition valve hot wire off of the terminal strip. In this case it was number 7. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to connect it directly to the large red wire. Once I've done that, I need to complete the circuit, and that is going to be with the black wire. I'm going to locate the common wire of the system, and I'm going to install it there. Last and most important is the brown wire, valve wire, that came in that bundle of 6 is now going to replace the brown wire that came out of number 7. I have now completed the circuit for that transition valve. In summary, what we've done: the orange and the white provide 24 volt source to the 3D. The red is a hot wire that goes to the hot wire coming from the transition valve. The black wire is the common wire of the 2-wire system. I've now created the dynamic 2-wire system at that transition valve to extend the system to bring back flow and control the master valve. The brown wire replaces the wire of the transition valve in the terminal strip. I've completed the circuit. The green wire is for your master valve, the yellow wire is for your flow sensor. Going forward, if you need to install any extra valves, go to the transition valve, use a Tucor wire, and extend the wire path to your expansion valves. Using the pre-programmed decoders by color, they correspond directly to these 5 color wires here. You're going to be able to expand this system another 7 valves. In this case, we have 5 extra valves. So you're going to install the blue into number 8, and wherever you install the blue decoder, that will turn on when you activate terminal number 8 on this controller, and so forth. Any additional information, contact your local Tucor distributor, and I'm sure they can help you with any assistance that you'll need. Now to summarize what we've done, we used the white and the orange wires to provide 24 volt to power the 3D. We've used the red, large red wire to connect to the hot wire of the transition valve. We used a large black wire to connect to the system common. We used a small brown wire of the valve, the 6 valve wires we identified earlier. We've used that to replace the hot wire that we took out from the transition valve. We've now completed the circuit. We used a green wire for the master valve, and we used the yellow wire for the flow sensor. Your controller should now be able to learn, monitor, and record, manage flow in accordance with its features. Remember, now that you have the 2-wire path in place, you can also add additional stations without running any new wires back to the controller. You just need to go to the transition valve, use pre-approved Tucor 2-wire double-jacketed wire, and extend your system, installing the pre-programmed decoders according to the colors here. As long as your controller has spare stations, you'll be able to add more stations out in the field right from the transition valve. For more Tucor best practice and equipment installation videos, including how to make the world's best 2-wire, wire splice, and how to add stations to your hybrid 3D 2-wire path, please visit our YouTube channel or tucor.com/install Tucor.